Things, global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back to our channel. Many Nigerians have been wondering what is going on in Abia State. Alex Otti, the present governor, has been performing very well, and he has been calling out his predecessor. I'm talking about the person of Ikpeazu. But right now, it is getting out of hand according to some of those who worked under the former dispensation. I'm talking about Okezie Ikpeazu, and they have decided to outline exactly how this whole drama began, and they're calling out Alex Otti on what to do as Ndabia worldwide are calling them out over the amount in question. And Alex is not letting this matter lie low. Well, before we go into the newspaper, kindly subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already. Please click on the red subscribe button beside it. You see a bell notification icon. According to the news, the Abia forensic audit, he said it is time for Governor Otti to hold himself to a higher standard. He said, it's a press release actually, said, my attention has been drawn to a publication by Risla blog, reportedly published by Governor Alex Otti's ally and rumored designated successor Chief James Chijioke Ume Coles of Abam in Arochukwu local government area of Abia State, wherein they sought to continue the media attack and tribal against former Abia State Governor Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu, with same unsubstantiated claims first dished out in faraway United States of America by Governor Otti. I was a member of the Abia State Executive Council ESCO and functioned as Honorable Commissioner for Information when the idea of constructing Abia Airport was first discussed during ESCO meeting of 24th September 2020. Based on the presentation made to ESCO, we approved the project and also approved the borrowing of 10 billion naira from UBA PLC as initial investment by the state, with repayment charged to our FEC account with the bank. You may wish to recall that during the period the country was still struggling to emerge from COVID-19 pandemic with very low FAC and IGR inflows across the state. With that approval by ESCO, the processes related to the project kicked off. The current secretary to the state government, who is an appointee of Governor Otti, Professor Kenneth Carlo, can review and confirm my claim from ESCO records in his custody. Shortly after we announced ESCO's approval of the airport project, Governor Ikpeazu received in audience executives of Abia State Traditional Rulers, that's Traditional Rulers Council, then led by HRM Eze Joseph Nwabike. On the 13th November 2020, Governor Okezie Ikpeazu informed members of the state's executive council about the details of his meeting with representatives of the traditional rulers in Abia State, who requested that we suspend the airport project and commit the funds earmarked for it to doing more roads in the state, as we are surrounded by airports already but need to urgently improve the internal roads that would give further boost to the socio-economic activities of the state. ESCO thereafter voted to approve the suspension and request to use the earmarked funds for road projects in the states. Now, on the 17th of November 2020, Governor Ikpeazu took to his official, formally Twitter account handle to inform netizens that the airport project has been suspended. Obviously, Governor Ikpeazu must have informed the Commissioner for Works of his intention to suspend airport project in the anticipation of ESCO approval. Hence, the State Ministry of Works selected road projects in our 2020 budget for funding with 10 billion naira and allocated resources to the contractors. Now, Forotex Construction Company, which is one of the reputable indigenous construction companies with anti-craft agencies clearance, was selected by Ikpeazu with Ikpeazu's administration as lead company in the contractor financier arrangement with UBA. Now, this contractor finance arrangement is not an alien within the public sector, and you may wish to see a similar arrangement entered into by Alex Otti with Cranbrook Construction Company for 50 billion naira facility earmarked for various roads. Such lead companies are more or less consultants that will receive the bulk amount and pay other road contractors as banks would not likely agree to enter into multiple agreements with all the contractors. Now, some of the contractors and projects known to me that were paid from the 10 billion naira include: 1. China's Zongogo for Osisioma Flyover Abia, Aba, and Absut Road Aba, which is about 800 million naira. Then Tracare Construction Company for Aba Owerri Road Aba Brass to Osisioma Junction segment, Ururugu Road Aba for Ibeji, Ubakala, Umuahia, then Stella Maris Catholic Church, and so on and so forth. Then the Foretex Aba Owerri Road Railway Junction. There's also the Sanan Jandon Okigwe Road Aba. You mentioned quite a whole number. I'm going to try and mention it as much as I can. It's quite huge. E&P Construction Trinity College, Yode Afrata Road Umuahia, Pemeko Construction, Zero Pothole along Umuahia Road, BOK Agbama Ring Road, and a whole lot of others. Quite huge. I must say it's about 21 contractors in all. Now, in that one, for the kindly note that the listed trench payments are not exhaustive, as those were the only ones in my personal escrow notes that I kept during meetings. It is also true that other trench payments were made from other sources. The Ministry of Works, led by Elder Bob Ogu, and Ministry of Finance, led by Dr. Aham Oko, should be able to supply a more comprehensive list. Alternatively, the current administration can also track through the relative Foretex project account. A serious audit investigation will simply seek to establish if the allocated funds go to the companies and also if the contractors did the work. Otti, one of the top 3 audit firms in the world, failed to follow the money as expected of audit firm, even the least ones. Those who claim that there was need for veriment may be speaking out of ignorance. In this case, the road projects were already in our approved budget, hence no need for further house approval. All state revenues are expected to be used to fund state budget, and from the time we had approved to spend on the roads instead of airport, there is, in my opinion, no further need for legislative approval. I'm also confident that if there was any legal requirement for further House Assembly approval, the management of UBA PLC must have demanded for and obtained it from the government before disbursement of cash for the road project. Whoever is interested in seeing such approval can contact UBA PLC. It is important to note that there was no draw down on the funds until November 26, 2020, when Governor Ikpeazu signed the attachment, because the bank placed a lien pending when all the documentation was completed. This can be verified from the relevant UBA account by the auditors and notice administration. Indeed, the disbursement continued beyond January 2021. For further education of those who verbalize terms they do not understand, veriment is the process of transferring items from one financial account to another. In this case, the airport project and the road project must both be in 2020 budget before you can execute veriment. I can personally not recall if the airport project was in our 2020 budget, as at the time it was approved by ESCO or intended to be approved via supplementary project. Hence, I cannot speak to any necessity for veriment through the House of Assembly. We never spent 10 billion naira on any airport project, so further debate on this direction is academic. Abia money was spent on Abia roads in block capitals. Now, as an active member of our ESCO, whose job was to coordinate information dissemination, I had access to some related documents to the allocation of funds for the road project. Any reputable audit firm interested in doing a good job could easily have tracked the payment of the 10 billion naira to Foretex and further to the other construction companies listed above that received payment and every others. It is on record that Governor Alex Otti, ill-advised, sacked senior civil servants in Abia State, including permanent secretaries and directors that work with Governor Ikpeazu, who then is the Ministry of Work staff, that confirmed to the auditors that he or she does not know about the transactions. Obviously, it must be an Otti appointee who is doing the bidding of a master that is fixated on dragging his predecessor through the mud. For instance, I believe either Engineer Owokeri or Engineer Obara SC was the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Works when the projects were under reference were executed. Otis sacked Obara simply because he worked with former Governor Ikpeazu, whereas he is in a position to give a response to the top three audit firm of Otti. That was how Otti decapitated continuity in governance in Abia State. It is crying shame that a state governor who subscribed to an oath of office is leaking forensic audit documents paid for by Abia State payers to a blogger rather than to use official government platforms to publish same material. If that is not a misdemeanor and abuse of office, I wonder what else it is. It also speaks volume that Governor Otti is so ashamed of his own forensic audit by one of the top three audit firm in the world that he couldn't publish the full document through Abia State official platforms such as Abia State government's website, but rather chose to leak bits and pieces through a blogger and then threatened his predecessor, who is yet to see the report, with EFCC. I personally do not believe that Governor Ikpeazu should respond to a document published by an Otis blogger. He should wait till a copy of the forensic audit report is given to him or officially published by the state government. Governor Alex Otti must know that at EFCC, people are given opportunities to respond to allegations against them as against a supposed forensic audit that never permitted the auditee to respond. Relevant financial transactions are monitored and actual projects inspected by EFCC. I am sure that former Governor Okezie Ikpeazu will willingly respond to any invitation by the EFCC or any other legitimate anti-graft agency in the country after 8 years of meritorious service to his state. He is not afraid of answering any invitation to give account, but surely EFCC will not be swayed by media trials orchestrated by a bitter political rival. They follow facts, not friction. And at some point after leaving office, Governor Alex Otti will always have to give account of his stewardship, and if he is succeeded by someone like him, I can only pray that God will have mercy on him. Clearly, the Otti administration is in a hurry to bury the recent quarterly financial report analysis that showed multi-billion naira financial indiscretion, including allocating billions of taxpayers' money to laughable subheads like research and development, which was used to expend a homogeneous 3 billion naira when we are not on our way to the moon, and 890 million naira for food and enjoyment at a time Abia workers are yet to receive promised wage awards. Piecemeal leaking of doctored official government documents to a blogger will also not stop us from demanding that Governor Alex Otti stop operating like the Emperor of Abia State and allow Honorable Aaron Uzodike to be inaugurated as a member representing Aba North State constituency, who has valid certificate of return issued by INEC. That Governor Otti has embarked on a personal mission of determining what constitutes justice by a law court is exactly what makes him an emperor, not whatever I say or write. Finally, it is important to note that no well-intended or intentioned democratic leader with defined development agenda focuses on holding his rival through media trial, and attempting to frame prominent opposition figures for incarceration at all costs simply because they disagree with him. Those clapping for Governor Alex Otti today must read the words of certain Dr. Alex Otti, which he penned in an article titled, "Who Are You to Ask Me Questions?" It was published by this day newspaper of 19th July 2021. What we find here is that in many cases, is quoting the words, in many cases, leadership turns itself into seat-tight depots, threatening, insulting, bullying anyone who dares to ask questions, and want to hold it to any form of accountability. In the course of doing so, he believes that it would silence the people that plunder the patrimony without responsibility and with no consequences. It is, however, instructive that once the people keep quiet, they wittingly or unwittingly consent to the plundering of its resources and therefore are viciously culpable. Like Albert Easton aptly stated above, the reason why leadership seems not to care about the people is because it can perpetuate itself in power by hook or crook, irrespective of what the people do. Now, our dear Governor Alex Otti, end of quote, I take that. Our dear Governor Alex Otti, kindly listen to the famous government critic and opposition leader, Dr. Alex Otti. Hold yourself to a higher standard of leadership than you are offering Abians today. All available facts shows that Governor Alex Otti created the airport controversy and is the one also falling into divert attention from his numerous failures, including poor management of Abia resources under his care, as can be verified from the recently published quarterly financial report anchored by his government. Furthermore, Forentex Construction Company is one of the contractors currently engaged by Governor Alex Otti in at least 4 active project sites in the state. His government reportedly also used Forentex Company for recent contractor financial arrangements in billions of naira. That he has access to Forentex and yet continue with this false narrative shows that he's simply being mischievous as against being gubernatorial. I rest my case. Chief John Okiyekalo, former Commissioner for Information, Trade and Investment, Abia State. And this is done some few hours ago. Nigerians are screaming, seriously yelling. Okay, well, let's look at there are quite a lot of things he put as attachments, which you're going to see while we're reading. But let's put in the comment section. We can go on and on. It's quite a long one. What's your take?